Critics always hate the films we think are great, but only one appreciates them all. He serves us every day, he keeps the trolls at bay, though he may be a shade delusional. The shelter of his mouth is moist, he will not give you any choice. Agree with him or else, because he is the film defender. Guerrilla filming. This is gonna be tricky. Gotta avoid detection, but at the same time, I've got a job to do. Let's do it. Alright. Alright, now that I've made my dramatic entrance, welcome to episode 2 of the Film Defender, serving the public good one underrated movie at a time. Today I'm coming to the defense of Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's 2013 film rebooting the Superman franchise. Now, despite becoming a summer blockbuster and launching DC's shared universe, which, by the way, can't wait for Batman vs. Superman next year, Man of Steel has always been an exceptionally controversial film amongst critics and fanboys alike, garnering complaints like, "Oh, it's too serious. Oh, it's too much death and destruction at the end. Oh, Superman isn't any fun anymore. Oh, blah, blah, blah." Well, I'm going to address each of these complaints as I come to this film's defense. It's the least I could do after Superman took on an entire army of battle-hardened Kryptonians. I mean, that's not an easy task, people. Cut the guy a break. Objection number 1. What happened to the cheerful Boy Scout from the old movies? The same thing that happened to his red underwear. These characters have to be updated to relate to a modern audience. People say that Superman shouldn't be given the Batman treatment by turning his character dark and brooding, but let's recap. Kal-El is an orphan who's raised by humans who can never truly understand his struggles, and has to watch his father die in front of him. That's practically Bruce Wayne's childhood, except he at least had a crapload of money at his fingertips. And he didn't have to carry the burden of an entire race that's gone extinct. I wouldn't expect Superman to be incapable of telling a lie, or feel the need to reassure people about the safety of their air travel when he's trying to reconcile his alien origins with his earthly surroundings. Just because he's super doesn't mean he shouldn't have struggles. How boring would that movie be? Objection number 2. Jonathan Kent shouldn't be trying to keep Superman's powers a secret. Unlike the trolls in the YouTube comments section, except for my fans who are completely wonderful, Jonathan Kent actually cares about people's feelings. Not only would the views of an entire world be uprooted with the exposing of Clark Kent's powers, but the ensuing backlash would psychologically and emotionally torment the young soul, who already faces plenty of internal turmoil as it is. Pa Kent isn't telling him to be a recluse, or to never reveal his true self, but rather to wait until he was comfortable with his powers, and ready to deal with the public response that such a philosophical upheaval would surely generate. He wants Clark to live up to his full potential, but knows he isn't ready to do so as a confused and developing teenager. I don't see why that's such a bad thing. The world is definitely not ready for an emotionally immature teenager with superpowers. It can barely handle normal teenagers. Objection number 3. Superman's fight with the Kryptonians is endangering a lot of people. Yes, Superman's battles with the Kryptonians spill over into civilian populations. But there isn't a whole lot he can do about that. He's only been fully exploring his powers for maybe a couple of weeks at most, and isn't anywhere close to prepared for the onslaught that's heading his way. It's all he can do to just survive these bombastic encounters with super beings. And I'm impressed with any effort he can muster to rescue those who may be caught in the crossfire. Remember, he's not only being targeted by the Kryptonians, but also by the human army that he's trying to protect. That kind of makes it hard to focus on the cat that's stuck in a tree down the block. Objection number 4. There's too much destruction at the end. If an army of aliens comes to Earth for the sole purpose of wiping us out, what do you expect to happen? Every single one of these Kryptonians is a physical match for Superman. Not to mention the advantage that they have with their combat experience and training. With the destruction of the entire planet at stake, the fact that an untested Superman still managed to save 99.99999% of the population is quite an achievement, if you ask me. He even tries to take Zod away from the people by throwing him into space, though with the undying determination to destroy as many humans as possible, Zod doesn't allow it to last for too long. Objection number 5. The musical score doesn't evoke the same feelings as John Williams' theme. Don't be ridiculous, people. Hans Zimmer is a masterful film composer, and he's created one of, if not the best superhero scores ever written. Sure, the original Superman theme may be a bit more hummable, but like it or not, it just doesn't have a place in a modern movie that wants to take itself a little more seriously. The action music of Terraforming will get your adrenaline pumping. The soaring crescendos of what will you do when you're not saving the world will make you want to go save the world. And the soft tinkling of the piano at the end of Tornado puts a lump in my throat almost every time I hear it. Do yourself a favor and check out the score if you haven't heard it already. Now here it's time to issue yet another spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Objection number 6. Superman breaks Zod's neck. That's not very Superman-like. Neither is taking away Zod's powers, crushing all the bones in his hand, and dropping him down an icy crevice to his death. They just decided to make Superman feel bad about killing Zod in Man of Steel, rather than playing it off as a heroic defeat with the John Williams score swelling in the background, and hoping no one notices that he just murdered the villain. It's beyond hypocritical to damn Man of Steel for showing Superman, who's just starting out, resorting to an unconscionable act in order to save lives, while forgiving a less repentant and more experienced Superman for doing the same thing in Superman 2. Bottom line, Man of Steel is awesome. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but I still think it's one of the better superhero movies out there, and easily the best Superman film in the entire series. Man of Steel's updated status: defended. What did you think of Man of Steel? Whether attacking or defending, join the fight in the comments section below. Also, is there a movie you love that deserves a strong defense? Email me at thefilmdefender@gmail.com and tell me what film you want me to fight for. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more film defenses to come. And until next time, the defense rests. Alright, time to go. Alright. This is gonna be tricky. Gotta avoid detection. People say that Superman. Are you kidding me? Guys, where do you have that's so important to be that you have to interrupt my video? Don't you realize what's at stake? Unlike the trolls in the YouTube comments section, except for my trolls. Response that such a ready to deal with the public response that such a why is that word so hard? With the public response that such a philosophical upheaval. Yes, Superman's battles with the Kryptonians. Yes, Superman's battles with the Kryptonians. That kind of makes it hard to focus on the cat that's stuck in the of movies in the superhero. Alright.